How dare you trying to flirt with another woman's man? What is the matter with you, you creepy little stalker? You've got some nerve, do you know that? I'm sorry, what are you talking about? I really have no idea what this could be about at all. I am talking about that man, and don't pretend like you don't know who I'm talking about. I just want you to know that he is my boyfriend, and you are just the ex that he wants nothing to do with. You're just old baggage from his past, and he doesn't want you in his life anymore. Don't you get that? I'm sorry. I don't even have this number saved in my phone. Just who am I even talking to right now? I mean, are you sure that you have the right number? I think that you might be talking to the wrong person. I know that I have the right number. There's no way that I would make a mistake about this. And I know for a fact that you're Jonathan's ex-girlfriend who keeps stalking him. Sorry, you think that I'm Jonathan's ex-girlfriend? Don't you play stupid with me! You know exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm not going to let you go and pretend otherwise. You're Jonathan's ex. Just admit it. Well, I just want you to know that Jonathan and I are married now. Do you know what that means? It means that he doesn't want you in his life any longer. Wait, what? You two are married? Are you serious? Did you really marry Jonathan? You mean that you didn't even know? What kind of horrible stalker are you if you didn't even figure that out? Although, I suppose someone like you would be shocked about this. A stalker like you is probably always holding out hope that you and your ex are going to be back together any day now. But you should know that I'm the one that he married, not you. So how about you finally just give this all up? Because John is my man and nobody else's. Got it? Okay, now hold on just a second here. I think that there's been some kind of misunderstanding. First of all, I am not his ex-girlfriend at all, okay? Excuse me? Don't you dare try and pretend like you're going to correct me if you're just going to lie to my face. I saw the two of you out on dates before. But now you're trying to pretend like you're not his ex that he broke up with and wants nothing to do with anymore? I knew that you were a little crazy, but this is just too much. I'm sorry, but I really don't think that you have a single clue about who you're talking to right now. Why don't you just give it a rest already and face up to the facts of reality, huh? And those facts are that you are Jonathan's ex-girlfriend and that you are still madly in love with him. You've been chasing after him all of this time since you two broke up, but you're nothing but a bad memory at this point. So you're the one that's wrong in all of this because John simply doesn't want you anymore. You're just an ugly fatty who needs to learn her place. Excuse me? What did you just call me? Are you kidding me right now? You do realize that Jonathan works for a very large and powerful company, don't you? He's a very high-paid employee on track to become management. He makes hundreds of thousands of dollars every year and is one of the hardest working men that I know. So he's not just some ordinary guy that anyone can date. Especially not an ugly, fat stalker such as yourself. You never even had a chance with him. Okay, first of all, I don't see why you need to resort to name-calling for any of this. Second of all, you're the one who started texting me out of nowhere to accuse me of all these things that I'm just not. You're being incredibly rude right now, and it's preventing us from having a real conversation. Oh, just shut up already, you ugly cow! How dare an uggo like you think that you have any right to talk back to a pretty girl like me? Are you kidding me right now? I mean, are you even reading these messages that you're sending me? Look, I've seen what you look like on your social media, and I know that you're nothing but a fat, ugly woman who should be embarrassed to post photos of her own face. But I'll also have you know that whenever I post a selfie, my posts always get hundreds and hundreds of likes from all of my adoring followers. And that's why I was obviously the right choice to marry John. Look, you crazy lady. I'm trying to tell you that I am not John's ex. Him and I have never, ever dated. Don't you get that? You can go on all that you like, but you're still nothing but a stalker, and that's all you'll ever be. Especially now that John and I are married, now the chances that you two will ever get back together really are zero. So why don't you just give it up already and quit following John around? Hey, John, do you have a second? Because I'm talking to this woman who keeps telling me she's your wife.
Wait, what? What's this all about? I hardly even hear from you, Sally.
I know, but I just really need to know. Did you get married today?
Well, yes, I did get married. It's actually our anniversary today. Of course, I really did want to introduce my wife to everyone before it happened, but... Well, everyone was just so busy with work and all, and I couldn't get any time off to arrange a proper meeting, so it just kind of happened that we got legally married today. Is this why you wanted to message me? I know that I should have introduced her to Mom and Dad first, but...
No, that's not what this is about at all. If anything, I think it's too bad since now that means you can't go back without lots of trouble. But anyways, I just want to talk to you about something, and I ask that you believe me. Because I just wish that you would have told us a little earlier that we could have found out the kind of person your wife really was.
Oh, well, if that's what this is about, then you've got nothing to worry about at all. Julia's a really sweet lady. She's so quiet and thoughtful, too. I mean, this is a little cheesy to say, but she really is my dream woman.
Are you kidding me? Is that really the kind of person that you think you've married?
I mean, to be honest with you, I think that she's way too pretty for me, so I always get flustered around her. But we actually met because I rescued her from some guys who were catcalling her. I thought that she would have been cold to me after all that happened, but she was really sweet and got along quickly after all. And as a way to say thanks, on the day that I helped her out, she gave me her number. After that, it was really only a matter of time until we were dating.
I see. And you're saying that Julia is a sweet, quiet, thoughtful person, is that right?
Yeah, she really is great, and I've been thinking that you two would probably get along really well. In fact, I would really like it if you two could meet, so I know that we're getting the order a bit backwards, but how's this weekend work to meet?
Oh, I'm really sorry to say, but I'm actually going to France next weekend. Although, I would really like to meet her as soon as possible. She is your wife, after all.
Man, you really do know how to keep busy all of the time, don't you? Can't you ever catch a vacation?
No, I'm afraid that my job loves to fly me around for all kinds of things, and they aren't really as generous with time off as your job is. But it's okay, because I really love my job, so even traveling, it's okay. And of course, they compensate me really well, so...
Well, I just think that it's unfortunate that we'll have to put off you meeting my wife, but I guess that means that the first time you meet her in person might be at the wedding.
Yes, I suppose that's how it's going to be shaking out at this point, right? Of course, meeting your wife for the first time at your guys' wedding has me a bit nervous. I just hope that we really do get along.
I don't think you have anything to worry about in the slightest. I mean, I really think she is so kind, and there's no way you wouldn't get along well. So I really don't think there's any need to be nervous about meeting her at all. Things are gonna go great.
I know, do you ever worry if maybe she's just playing a character? I mean, what if that woman isn't the woman that she says she is?
I'm sorry, Sally, but I really don't think you have any idea what you're talking about when it comes to that. I know Julia, and she is a kind, sweet woman who wouldn't hurt a fly. Anyways, I think that I need to turn in for the night, but good luck with your business trip. We have a lot of planning to get on with this wedding, but we'll see you there. Anyways, I think that I need to turn in for the night, but good luck with your business trip. We have a lot of planning to get on with this wedding, but we'll see you there.
What do you think you're doing here, you stalker freak? I thought I told you that I wanted you to give up on John. Why can't you just leave him alone? Are you kidding me right now? Are you still seriously keeping this up? Well, I thought that I had finally seen the last of you, and that you were finally going to leave him alone, but now you've gone and snuck into our wedding? When is a fat, ugly woman like you finally going to realize that nobody wants you around anymore? You really have some nerve, do you know that? Okay, I'm sorry, but there has been some kind of miscommunication somewhere, and you really need to understand that I'm not John's ex. Okay, please. You really are just delusional. Do you know that? What are you going to tell me? That you still want to try and marry him even though we're already married? I really don't even know what to say to you. Why are you acting this way towards me? This is really uncalled for. I can act whatever way I want with you because it's my wedding and I'm the main character. So if I want to try and kick you out of my wedding, then I have the right to. But why can't you just stop all of this and listen to what it is I have to tell you? Why in the world should I stop and read what a crazy stalker like you has to say? I want you out of here and I'm not going to let you buy time. In fact, I think I'm going to call the police and have them drag you out of here. So what do you think about that? How do you think you'll feel when you're being dragged out of this wedding? Are you serious? You're really going to call the cops on me? Have you lost your mind? Oh, you're right. That isn't nearly enough punishment for you. I need everyone to know what a crazy stalker you are, so I'll be putting up photos of you getting arrested so everyone knows to watch out for you. What is your deal? You're taking this way too far right now. Do you know that? That's right. You're scared to have everyone know the kind of person that you really are, isn't that right? You're so scared for me to post photos of you getting kicked out of here. But the real joke is that I've already taken photos of you and sent them to my mother-in-law and John's family, all to tell them to avoid talking to you. You mean that you really sent photos to John's family calling me a stalker? Are you serious? That's right! And before long, everyone is going to be mad that you're even here, and nobody will care if I throw you out of here. And then finally, I'll tell John to step forward while you're crying and in handcuffs, so that he can tell you to your face that you two are broken up and that he doesn't want anything to do with you ever again. Then maybe you'll finally learn your lesson about messing with me. You really don't even realize what you've done right now, do you? What in the world are you talking about? I haven't even gotten started with you, really. You're just a girl that nobody would ever want to date who can't get over the one lucky break that she had. But if you don't get out of here right now, I really will call the cops on you and have them drag you out of here in the most humiliating way possible. Okay then. I guess you can tell John that his little sister went home early. Wait, what? What in the world are you talking about now? I mean that I'm sick and tired of explaining to you that John and I never ever were dating. Do you understand that? But don't worry. If he asks why I wasn't at his wedding for the entire time, I'll just tell him that it was you that told me to go home. But I do really hope that you two are able to have a good ceremony after I've gone and I'm not here anymore. But wait! This doesn't make any sense at all. Are you really John's little sister? I mean, is John really your older brother? That's right, and it's what I've been trying to tell you this entire time. I'm Sally, John's little sister, and John is my big brother and always has been. I'm sorry that we haven't been able to meet in person this entire time, but my work keeps me very busy with all kinds of business trips, and we just weren't able to work something out. But wait, this has to be some sort of lie or something like that, right? I mean, you can't actually really be his little sister, right? I mean, this whole time I thought you were his ex-girlfriend. Yes, well, I do love my big brother a lot, but only as a sister. And like I said, we've never ever dated or anything like that. What? How can this be? I really had no idea about this at all. This is all such a surprise to me right now because I had no idea that that was the case the entire time. Yes, well, I did try to correct you for a long time, but you refused to believe that I was anything but a stalker and a former lover of John's. But it's like I'm saying to you right now, John and I are brother and sister, so there's no way at all that I would ever date him. And now you've gone and insulted me to the point that I want to leave this wedding and never come back. I mean, really, did you know that I had just gotten off of a 10-hour flight before coming here? I'm way too exhausted to deal with this crap now. But, I mean, I don't get it. This doesn't make any sense to me at all. I remember when we started dating, I made John take down a bunch of photos that he had in his room, and some of them were of you. I was worried that he hadn't gotten over his exes, and he told me that those photos meant a lot to him. Well, it sounds like to me that you just demanded that he take down family photos in his own room. And if he did have photos of me, it's probably because, as I already mentioned to you in a previous message, my job is always sending me away on business trips. So John and I hardly get to see each other anymore. But then, doesn't that mean that I was just acting totally controlling and making John put away important family photos? Yeah, that's actually exactly what that sounds like to me. Although, I assume that you used those photos to track me down, right? That's right! I was looking for your social media accounts using those photos until I was finally able to find you. And so you found my social media account but didn't double take at all that John and I had the same last name? You think that I'm going to dig that deeply into some silly little ex of my now husband? No way! I just thought that you were a crazy stalker wanting to get back with him. Not only that, but I guess I was just so worried that John might still have feelings for you. I mean, he had photos of you and he talked about how amazing you are all the time, and I just thought that he still had some hang-ups with his ex. That's why when I saw that you were still trying to spend time with him and be with him, I was worried that you were one of his exes and were trying to steal him away from me. Wait, what? You mean he really talked about me all that much to you? That is actually just so embarrassing for me. But anyways, you should know that John actually did have an ex who was hung up on. So it's possible you were seeing some of his posts about her, and were assuming they were about me? But I guess that's just what you get for not doing your due diligence and actually doing any proper investigating at all. Oh man, this is actually so embarrassing that John was talking about me like that. I knew that he missed me a lot, but I guess I just didn't quite realize how much. But then, are you telling me that this entire time I've just been getting every single tiny detail of all of these assumptions that I've been making completely wrong? Is that really what's going on here? Yeah, I mean, that seems to be what has actually been going on this entire time. Of course, I knew from the very start that you didn't have a clue what you were talking about at all. But yeah, in case I haven't been able to make the point clear enough by now, I am not John's ex. I never was his ex. John and I never, ever dated. And the reason for all of those is because he and I are brother and sister. Not only that, but I have a boyfriend. But anyways, I've had enough disrespect from you, and I think that I'm just gonna go home now. I don't know why I would put up with any more of this from you. Wait, no, please. You can't go. I really didn't realize that I was making these mistakes at all. Please, you have to understand that this is all just a huge misunderstanding. I mean, you have to know that if I knew that you were John's sister, that I would never have treated you the way that I did. I mean it. I just didn't know that you were his sister is all. But I see that it was a mistake this entire time, and I realize what it is that I was mistaken about. So please don't go. I need you here. I don't know what's going to happen when John realizes that I've scared off his sister from his wedding. Yeah, well, you've basically spoiled my appetite for being there, and I don't plan on coming back at all. You made all kinds of horrible assumptions about who I was, then you started saying all kinds of mean insults to me, all because you didn't bother to check that you were working with the correct information. You've been nothing but unpleasant to deal with this entire time, and I don't really see why I should do anything for you after all that you've put me through at this point. Please don't say that. You have to know that I just didn't have all of the information that I needed. I didn't have the full picture, and that's why I said what I said and did the things that I did. But you have to know that if I knew that you were John's family, then I would never, ever have said any of those things to you at all. It's all just one big, huge mistake. Huge mistake or no, the huge mistake was done by you. And huge mistake or no, but you still acted horrible when you were working under all these false premises. So no, I'm not going to do anything to help you now. Got it? Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go back home and get rest. And you can explain to my brother why it is that his little sister isn't at his wedding. After that, I did exactly what I told Julia I would do, and I went home and took a long nap to recover from a long flight that I had arrived on this morning. When I woke up, it was several missed messages from both Julia and John. Julia was begging me to come back to the wedding, each message getting more and more desperate than the last one. Meanwhile, John's messages revealed that he eventually did notice that I was gone and asking where I was. Finally, I assumed that Julia must have come clean to John about what had happened between us, because John texted me saying that the wedding was off and that he was so sorry for the way that his wife had treated me. While I didn't want to be the reason John got a divorce, he also got married without ever introducing his fiancée to the family at all. I told him that he was an adult who could make his own decisions, but that he shouldn't divorce just because of me. Still, John and Julia did end up getting divorced, and John still apologizes for all the things that she said to me to this day.
Rosie, you're so mean. What? Why would you do that? What? Bailey? Come on now. What do you want? I heard this from the old lady next door, but you went and took your really good-looking boyfriend home with you and showed Mom and Dad? Why did you never tell me about that? Jesus! If you're bringing your boyfriend over with you, then you should tell me too. I have to be there in order to see if he'll be a good fit for me or not. That's the reason I didn't tell you crap. What? Listen, Bailey. I don't go out finding men I like and want to be in a relationship with just to bring them around you and have you take them. And by the way, you are not in the place to be texting me about anything at all right now. Why not? Oh, don't tell me you've forgotten about the fact that 4 years ago you stole my husband from me. You would never be able to forget that, right? Yeah, I haven't forgotten about that. And Mom has told you plenty of times now that you are not allowed around their house ever again. But each time she tells you that, you just show up more and more frequently with that stupid, emotionless smile on your face. And what about that? I have to go back to Mom and Dad's house often in order to find out if you've brought another man over to the house or not. If I can't go there anymore, I won't know who you're with. Are you kidding me? All of the men you bring in are always so amazing. But the thing is, all of those men deserve to be with me, a far more wonderful and attractive woman. And actually, all of the men you've brought home with you in the past have always fallen in love with me, right? I've always loved having those men fall for me like that, and it's become sort of an addiction now. Huh? What are you talking about? I've only ever had one man that you stole from me, and that was my previous husband. What are you talking about? There was the classroom president you were with in middle school, and the leader of that club you were in back in high school. And in college, you had that boyfriend who was a model, right? I liked him. Wait, all of those guys were never my boyfriends. What? I'm sure to those around us we looked like we were a thing because we'd always hang out with each other all the time. But the only reason I was ever around the class president in middle school all those times is because I was the vice president. And the reason I was always talking with the leader of that club in high school is because I was the manager for all his events. As for that model in college, he actually did end up asking me out, but at the time I was already dating the man I would one day call my husband, who is currently my ex. So I had to turn that model down. What? Are you serious? Well, at this point, all of that is history and doesn't really need to be brought up anymore. But what I know about you that needs to be talked about is all of those men you've stolen from other women. And the fact that you feel like it's a great thing that you've stolen so many men from, be it me or any other woman, is a huge problem. You need to grow up a little, Bailey. What? For some reason, I'm getting even more fired up now. What? Telling me that everyone else besides your ex had no close relationships to you at all makes me upset, actually. It makes me feel like you're trying to make me feel bad about everything I've done. So I'm going to make an announcement right now. That man that you're with right now, I'm going to steal him from you whether you like it or not. That'll show you. Ugh. By the way, whatever happened to my ex-husband that you stole from me? You know, the man you cried and begged for days and weeks who had been working for a very large company and had all the features you liked? What happened with him? Did you guys already break up? Oh, right. For some reason, the flame just went cold. After just 2 months, he and I broke up. I see. That's why I'm not even going to attempt to hold back as I go for your current boyfriend. Then let me say this. What? If you think you can take him, then give it your best shot. Huh? I'm going to tell him everything about you right now so that he knows what to expect. I'll let him know that you maliciously try and steal all of my men from me, even those that aren't in a relationship with me, and then move on to the next man that I'm around when you get bored with the previous. Did you just say I'm maliciously doing this? So you have a better way to describe yourself? There's no way a beautiful, sexy woman like myself is malicious. Well, whatever way you think of yourself, consider meeting him to be a very hard challenge. This previous time was probably his last for a while, and I'm not sure when the next time will be when he comes around to Mom and Dad's house. So it's better that you not even try going after him. Also, I'm going to show him all these texts you've sent me so he understands that this is serious. Huh? There is not going to even be a chance of you stealing him from me this time. Huh? Bye now. Rosie, hello. How many months has it been since we last chatted? Well, anyway, I've gone and taken your boyfriend. Again. The fact that you haven't said anything to me about this yet means you never even noticed. By the way, your boyfriend George is frickin' awesome. I went to your apartment since I saw George going in there. All I had to do was knock on the door saying who I was, and he let me right inside. And right then and there, he and I got into it, and I got to have myself a little taste of what's to come. Thank you for that wonderful meal. And guess what? George is so far the most handsome-looking and high-spec man that I have seen. And I've recently been really thinking about settling down soon. Since he's the perfect man for me, I'm going to take him and get married. Sorry for stealing yet another one of your men. What the hell? Did you tell me that you just stole my boyfriend and that you're going to marry him now? Bailey? Oh, good morning, Rosie. Thank you so much for once again bringing me another high-spec man to take. What are you talking about? Especially when there's no chance you've come across my boyfriend. But right now, George and I just stopped at the courthouse and dropped off our marriage forms. George? That's right. We just made sure to get rid of that apartment you had always been staying at with him, and now he's moving in with me. After all, he's going to be my husband now. Wait, who the hell is he? He's my new husband. That's not what I'm asking. Who the hell is George? Like I've said, he's your now ex-boyfriend. But my boyfriend goes by the name George. And he's not even in the US currently. He's not? What, did Mom never tell you anything about him? She told me you continued to barrage her with questions about him, and so she had to give you his name to get you to shut up. Oh, I get it now. You got the name George and George mixed up, I think. Huh? Wait, but George, wasn't he living with you in that apartment I was just at? Did you go out to Havensfield to get that apartment? That's right! Well, I moved out of that apartment a year ago, and I've never been back there. Huh? You moved out of there? Which means I haven't been living there for a year now. Huh? I'm going to assume that George guy moved into that apartment after I had moved away and is most likely American, right? Where are you right now, Rosie? Overseas. Huh? You're overseas? I'm back in George's hometown with his family. The reason that I was ever able to meet a guy like him in the first place is because he came to our state to do some business with one of his company's customers, and then had to go back home after a few months. So before he had to head back home, I told him that I'd be coming with him. And so I quit my job and flew out of the States with him. I just found myself a job here, actually, and so things are finally starting to calm down for me again. What the heck? How dare you get a foreign boyfriend like that? You're so mean! He and I just got married a month ago, so you can call him my husband now. What? Does that mean a while back when you brought him over to Mom and Dad's house? He came over to their house before needing to go back home and asked Mom and Dad for their approval in him marrying me. Before he needed to go back home? So that really means... That's right. Right now I'm texting you from our house that is not in the US. Are you serious? It's funny that you just thought you'd gotten the best of me again and even married him that quickly. Well, congrats for that. What the hell? I only wanted him because I thought that he was yours. There's no reason for me to have gone through all this work to steal him now. Rosie! There's just some random people living in Mom and Dad's house right now. Where's Mom at? What? You went to that house again? I did. God. This last month has already been too much for me to handle. George ended up having another woman who he was engaged to at the time. And so that fiancé of his ended up making me pay for their wedding that had to be canceled and a settlement. Everything's been so hard for me, and to be honest, I have no more money. I came back to Mom and Dad's house with the hopes of getting Mom to help me pay for all of this. But as I walked up to the front door, there were random people living inside the house. If you want to know where Mom and Dad are, they are here with me. What? Mom and Dad are living with us in our house now. Huh? Do you mean... Does that mean that Mom and Dad are overseas now too? That's right. They went and got all the paperwork done that they needed to do, got their visas to come and live here, went to a language school for 3 months, and then helped us buy a brand new property here. They started doing all of this once they both got fed up with you always causing issues for them, and so they've been preparing for this for over a year now. And finally, a month or so ago, everything worked out the way we had all planned, and they were both able to move out here. No frickin' way. You all just left me here in the US? How the hell could my own family do something like that to me? Listen here, Bailey. Ever since you stole my husband from me 5 years ago, this whole family has hated you. Mom, Dad, and myself. You were even told that you were being disowned, yet you continued to go to Mom and Dad for everything, acting like nothing had happened. Seriously, how many times would they have had to tell you you're not family to them anymore before you got the hint? I never said that was okay. Nobody said you had the right to say it was okay or not. What the hell, Rosie? I think that the three of us had been too kind to you after what you did. We told you that you were not a part of the family anymore, yet we continue to talk with you through text and such. The only reason we've really been continuing to talk with you is to try and prevent you from getting too crazy. Had we blocked you 5 years ago, we were afraid you might lash out and try to kill us. But by staying in contact with you, we seem to have only made things worse. Rosie? Today, Mom, Dad, and myself are going to the store to get new phones and new SIM cards for here. What? I thought I'd just let you know that before we get our new numbers. Hold on a sec. I got a divorce from George. There was no hope in trying to rely on him for money and things since he lost it all to his fiancée. I see. Most of our distant family is on the other side of the US now, and most of them won't even talk to me anymore. So, I would like to come with you. I don't want Mom or Dad to have to suffer through any more of your crap with you. You're saying I caused them to suffer? That's right, Bailey. What? That's the whole reason why I worked with them to get them to move here. We all want to be free from you now, so don't you dare get in our way. Rosie! I'm blocking you now. Bye forever. What happened with my little sister after that is pretty hard for me to know specifically since I blocked her. But luckily my mom was able to get in touch with that fiancé of George's that ended up being caught in Bailey's mayhem and has been talking with her ever since. From what she's told my mom, Bailey ended up going to work at a strip club for a few weeks to start making some money for the settlement. But in between working shifts there, she would go throughout the city collecting cans and bottles to get dimes back for at the local supermarket. However, she too wasn't able to get a hold of Bailey anymore after a while, most likely due to Bailey's phone breaking or her not being able to pay her phone bills. And only a month later, we got one last bit of information about her through a rumor, and it's not great. The last of her that was seen was of her getting into the back of a black van with 2 other men, and then it driving off to never be seen in the city again. But a week after that happened, some money came into the fiancé's account from Bailey to finish off paying her settlement, so she still has to be alive somewhere. I'm just glad that she paid off all that settlement and hopefully will not cause any more trouble for anyone now. As for my parents and I, we're all out living in a very lovely villa out in Spain now with my new husband. We ended up getting this place with the help of my parents as they were getting ready to move here, and so far it's fit the 4 of us in it comfortably. Both my parents are going to some more classes again to improve their Spanish even more. And I was able to get myself a job working for an American company here in Spain, where I can use both my English and Spanish skills to work. Luckily, George never had to really talk or see my sister in person, because after showing him the text she had sent me a while back, along with the story about her stealing my ex-husband, George said he'd slap her across the face the moment she came near him. And based off how large my husband's arms are due to all the competitive bouldering he does, he'd probably end up killing her with one slap. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.